There you are. Oh, I thought we'd have to do the show without you, Brandon.
Mm-hmm.
Podcasting will be a thrill. Grandpa and chill, grandson and friends. Podcasting Grandpa and chill will be a thrill, grandson and friends. With your hosts, Grandpa Bart and Brandon Fox, Finance Jackson and Sierra Dawes. This is Grandpa and Chill.
Hi, everybody at home. You're listening to another episode of Grandpa and Chill. As always, we have on...
Finest.
Yeah. We have our amazing producer.
Sierra.
And of course...
Grandpa?
Yeah, we got Grandpa on the line. And I'm Brandon Fox. The four of us today will be talking to a multitude of guests about where the conversation takes us. The first guest we have today is Jessica.
Hello, Jessica. Hello, Jessica.
She heard debate. She was like, I'm fucking out.
Right.
Okay. Well, actually, I was muted, but I also, when you were saying that you thought everybody was going to want to talk about the debate, I was like, well, not quite everybody.
Oh, thank
All
God.
right.
Ooh,
All right.
good.
Cool.
I agree.
Take us away, Jessica.
Please do.
It's really nice to be here with the four of you.
Thank you for coming.
It's good to be with you as well again.
Thank you. I really enjoyed it last time. That little call-in introduction. That was fun.
I'm trying. I'm really trying, Jessica.
You guys are doing great. I had a podcast for a couple of years, and I did it by myself, and it wasn't live because I didn't feel like I could take that on, the technology. But I know that just doing pre-recorded, it was a lot of work, and there's so many little things that you might not think of, but if you don't think of them, you'll only not think of them once, you know?
Yeah.
So it's cool that you're doing it live and that you have the four of you.
Yeah, I think what's very interesting is with an intergenerational podcast, right? I'm specifically like targeting people my age and then people more towards grandpa's years, is that like the sort of roller coaster of experiences of getting people on is quite interesting, quite fun.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yep.
What was your? I'm sorry. Go ahead, Jessica.
No, I wasn't. That was it.
Oh, what was your podcast that you had for a few years about?
It was called World Building Radio. And the basic premise of it was that thinking for yourself, you know, I had various kinds of guests on there talking about all sorts of things, but underlying everything was thinking for yourself, and whatever the guest's speciality was, I always took the conversation to the world building aspects of what they do. So that's what it was. And I also, I had episodes where I just basically did a monologue. Sometimes I got totally ridiculous
That's
with
the best
characters I created,
And
then
yeah, so where'd the podcast end up?
where did it go?
Like how did you finish it?
Well, this year has been really weird, and I'm not referring to the virus. It's just in my progression as a human being and an entrepreneur. And in the spring, I just started to feel like, you know what, there are like a list of like 6 categories of things that need to just go away. And so I eliminated those 6 things from my life. And then I went a layer deeper and I deleted a website that I had had for, well, since 2010 that
Was it like
still
a
got traffic.
was
It
it
was
like a
a,
blog?
no, it was a self-improvement website with all original content by me on it. And it got a lot of traffic um, still. And I deleted my podcast, which had gone from like this just like little thin stream of downloads, as Libsyn called it, to suddenly in July, it just skyrocketed. It was unbelievable. And nevertheless, I deleted my podcast. I just,
Whoa.
Oh wow.
it, I just felt like it had to go. It was just one of those things where it felt like it was like this access point in my life for bad energy.
Oh.
I
How
don't
were
know
you able
why.
to? How were you able to attract guests?
That's what Grandpa got from that.
No, that it's a great question. It was a combination of following my intuition, just paying attention to, I might hear a name or think, ooh, who's that person? And go find out who they were. Or like with my very first guest was my acupuncturist. And I thought that would be a really, really interesting topic for world building. And it did prove to be. I can email you the file if you ever want to listen to it. And what I did was I put together a whole package for prospective guests. And, I had a release form and all this stuff. And, uh, my expectations of my guests and what I wanted their experience to be like. And I mailed all that to them, and then they would fill out the release form and keep a copy and send me back a copy and all that kind of stuff. And so I would just approach people, and I was made it very personalized. I let them know that I'm not just like looking for like somebody. And if I didn't have anybody in mind that I thought would really add to the podcast, then for that episode, I just did a monologue or whatever.
Yeah. It's interesting that you dipped out of all these things, it seems like at the height of their success, right?
Yeah. Yep. I know. And it's kind of a weird thing doing that, but I trusted myself. I just felt like both of those things were draining me and they weren't loving me back.
Mm.
Are you afraid of success?
No, I'm not
Wow.
afraid of success. I've been successful at different times. But some things, you can't do everything. And I'm a very curious person. And so I get drawn into all sorts of entrepreneurial ventures that suck the life out of me.
Yeah.
And I'm too old for that now. I don't need the bad energy, and I've got things that I really want to be doing.
So the website and the podcast, they were not love activities. You wanted them to go somewhere.
Yeah, I mean, I loved doing each of them, but they really didn't love me back. Traffic is not necessarily love. If your audience is not engaging with you in any way, shape, or form, it's just you're working in a vacuum,
Yeah.
Yeah.
and it gets
Yeah.
really lonely and tiresome.
I like that. You said you do monologuing. I just had a question about this, just because you did random ones. Have you done improv? Would you do improv?
Yeah, actually, I've done improv in the past, and on Wednesday evenings, I'm in an online
Uh,
improv group. And
okay.
yeah, and actually, my big plan right now is, well, I probably shouldn't say it on the air.
Oh,
Oh.
I'll,
manifest it. Come, go ahead.
nah,
Not,
I'll tell you if you have me back sometime in a few weeks. I'll tell you because by then I'll have taken action on it.
Okay.
So
And
yeah.
also, I'm interested in those. You brought up 6 things that were in your life that you wanted to get rid of.
Mm,
I don't know. I kind of want to dig in it.
yeah.
So you want specifics? Is that what you're
Well, kind of.
saying?
I mean, you don't have to go super far into it. You just give me like a, you know,
Like
what is
what the
that?
categories were?
Yeah, yeah. I would like that.
Okay, well, I'll give you a couple anyway. Interestingly, and this is what happens with me. Like I do a lot of journaling
Mhm.
and I work out problems in my journal. And then when I really come to something where I'm like, oh my God, I can't believe that I'm one, seeing this now, and two, that it was never the time earlier to see this. And then the next day, I'll forget all about it. It's just like it's gone. It's like it's history. And so the same thing happened with these categories where I just started eliminating them. And I realized a few weeks ago that I couldn't remember any more than like two, maybe three of what those categories were because I got rid of them, and they're just gone. So one of them was um, buying into people's online expert programs. I spent so much money getting quote unquote educated by experts in fields around entrepreneurism. And it just never went well with me. And finally, I was like, I'm done. I am so done with handing my money over to people and getting just treated badly or getting burned or whatever, just having like a really negative experience.
Mhm.
And I'm done. So that was gone. Um, let's see. Oh, and dealing with people where that, like, speaking of trusting myself, um, people where I just got a really, like, I thought about, okay, well, I could engage with this person about, X, Y, or Z. And I'd get this, like, ugh, feeling in my gut, like, don't do it, don't do it.
Oh,
But I'd be like, well, they're like agreeing to it. So I'll just like go along with it. And I'd regret it every time. So I no longer do that. It's like, nah.
yeah. That
So
gets me.
those, I'm sorry, say that again.
No, I said that gets me. Trusting your gut is like, yeah, that's a hard one.
It is.
You seem to really do it though, to trust your gut enough to get rid of 6 different things in your life at the same
and,
time.
and
Yeah.
and like a website and a
Yeah. It's
yeah.
weird. Most people are like, "Oh, I'm going to get rid of toxic people and like ice cream." But like yours includes like positive and negative things. It would seem from the surface, you know.
Yeah. Seemingly positive.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. We've talked about it on here before, but like success versus happiness, is something that I'm like almost obsessed with. And I'm Grandpa, you asked her like, do you fear success? I have the same question for you. Do you?
I don't think so. I think that it's difficult sometimes to achieve success, and I think that
Yeah.
most of us have success in life, and we also have failures. So I wouldn't say that I'm afraid of success. I may be afraid of certain types of success. Yes.
What do you mean?
Well, let's say that I might not feel comfortable in being well known. I might not be comfortable with something like that. I'm not necessarily saying that that's the way I feel, but I guess, without realizing it, like subconsciously, prevent yourself from becoming real successful
Mm.
I agree
about
with that.
certain things.
But mostly you're like, please, please, I want success.
I think so. I think most people want it, and then of course, success is a matter of what is important to you as a person. You know, everybody has. People are all different. They have different ideas of what success is. One
Yeah.
person to be successful might be their ability to help somebody else. Another person might be financial. Another one might be to have a good relationship with someone. So there's all types of success.
Yeah. I think I used to be, or still sometimes am afraid of success, but it's more like what Grandpa was saying is like, I don't want the responsibility of the things that come with success, which is like politics and keeping your nose clean and your ass clean and whatnot. I'd rather not have to worry about it if I don't have to worry. Like, I mean, I can worry about it, but I don't want to worry about someone else worried about what I'm doing. It just,
Mm.
I think, yeah, I think sometimes the work of success, like not working hard. I'm down for working hard. I just don't like maintaining success, like like keeping your grass green and stuff like that.
Yeah.
You might want to keep your privacy in life. That's
Maybe that's what
Mhm.
it is.
many
Maybe
people
that's
that's
what it is.
important.
Yeah, I think that's more important to me than, um, or that's what I view as more successful than I do being successful, like the number one person of something. I don't like wearing the title of number one or number two because it seems like a lot of work that I don't want to handle, like a lot of, um, I don't know, like politics.
Yeah.
Mhm.
I feel like I
Yeah.
notice myself self-sabotage. Like I mean I don't know if I care about success, but I definitely want to reach a certain level in specific things where it's like I can do things that I want to do, like dreams. And I notice like inherent like self-sabotage sometimes where I like do things and I'm like, oh man, like this is like I'm like ruining this moment for myself for sure. Yeah.
I have
Mhm.
two book recommendations based on what the three of you have just been talking about,
All right, I'm
if
ready.
you want to hear them.
Lay
Yeah,
it
let's
Yeah.
on
hear it.
me.
One of them, this has to do with the success and what it means to you, is the very first self-improvement book I ever read. Although when I was like 9 years old, I sent away, this was like 1969, I sent away for Billy Graham's little book
Mhm.
because it was free and I thought he was cool. So that was probably the very first one. But the next one was called Wish, Wish, Craft, by a woman named Barbara Scher. And she published it in the 80s. And it was such a wonderful, wonderful book. I can't recommend it enough. I haven't read anything since then that surpasses it. And she talks about how two people could have the same goal, for their success, but their touchstones, she calls them, like what that actually looks like and feels like to them, could be entirely different. And that it's so important to clarify what you want your life to look like with that success.
Mhm.
So, like, for example, like two of you were saying that you don't want that. Well, Grandpa, you were saying, for example, and Finest, you were saying definitely that you don't want that public face to it, and you don't have to. And so the other book is, I'm reading it right now. It's called The Power of Now. You've probably heard of it,
Yeah, I've heard
by
of it.
Eckhart Tolle.
Yeah,
Yeah.
And
Dave
it's,
Chappelle has a joke about it.
pardon?
I said Dave Chappelle has a joke about it. I think.
Yeah,
But
I know exactly what you're talking about.
I think you showed it to me. But go ahead. What were you saying, Jessica?
Or what is the joke?
He's making a crude joke about like read that, tell the power now, like that whole mantra to like a starving child, and tell them to think about food or think about being, you know, like basically kind of making fun of it, like, you know, in a
Yeah.
funny way. Not saying the book ain't good, but you know,
Right.
everything can be made fun of.
Just
But
a joke. But
the joke
he's
is like to wish the hunger away, like, or just to
yeah,
like it,
yeah.
you know, it's all in
No,
your
no, no.
mind.
You're not hungry.
Uh,
You're not visualizing food strong
there
enough.
it is. There it is. Yes.
Yeah.
But not to, sorry, not to, I don't mean to poke fun at, I didn't
No,
mean to, okay.
no, I asked you what the joke was. And you know what? It's for years. I thought about how someone tried to get me to read that book, like
Mhm.
in 2011, and I was like, I'm not reading that. I could have written that, kind of
Yeah,
thing.
right.
Like, but then when I started to read it, my daughter bought a copy for me a couple of weeks ago, and I was like really resistant, but I realized reading it that I was making a lot of assumptions about what he was going to say.
Mhm.
Mhm.
And he's not saying, like, for example, oh, just visualize food and everything's going to be okay. He's not saying that at all. What he's saying is, right, focus, be in your body, like, be like in your body, keep drawing your attention and your focus away from your thinking mind and into your body. Just keep doing that, because when you do that, you're nourishing your body. He's not talking about as a substitute for food. He's talking about making your consciousness, which is in your body, stronger and stronger. And he's talking about how from that being present in the now, which is all you ever have, that it's not that you should go, oh, okay, well, I'm hungry. That's like fine because I'm like enlightened. What he is saying is, okay, if you've got something, a situation going on that you don't like, you have basically three choices. You can do something about it, you can get away from it, or you can accept it. And so, like with the hunger, you could just accept it. And I've gone hungry. I
Yeah.
know what it's like. I'm not talking about, oh, I missed lunch. I'm talking about going hungry and having no money. I know what that is like.
Yeah.
So I'm not just like talking here.
No,
So
and it makes sense what you're saying too, of like, you only got three options, like that, even if that joke is about that kid, his choice in that matter would have been, well, I'm hungry. That's all he can be, or maybe he's not. You know, who knows? But you're right, though. You know, you're right what you're saying. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
So yeah, I mean, it's basically that. Like, instead of fighting the fact that you're hungry and you can't do anything about it, accept that and accept that it sucks. Instead of fighting the fact that it feels really crappy, just like be okay with the way that you feel, so that you're not having to not only deal with the hunger, but also having to deal with being like in a tizzy, as we used to say,
Mm,
where you're like, because you're present, you have more options,
yeah.
you know? So anyway, it's a really great book. And something that you said, Brandon, made me think of it.
Mhm.
Self-sabotage, maybe. I
Yeah.
forget.
Yeah. Yeah.
What was your last recommendation? Because I have a recommendation for you as well. But let me hear
I
your
believe
last book.
that was both of them.
Okay.
What's your
Well, you know, a lot of stuff that you're saying, your podcast also makes me think of this too. Is Duncan Trussell's Family Hour podcast? Um, he does a good job of just interviewing very interesting people, like someone that does like aromatherapy or acupuncture, or just all these people that take magic seriously. And he just picks their mind and has them talk, and it's really insightful because we look at, like we were saying with the book, we look at it like it's so silly, like, oh, someone believes in magic, this is silly, but then they have a true like um, thought process behind it, and yeah, I like to learn about it. I'm like, that's pretty cool. I think you might like it.
Yeah, what's his last name?
Trestle. I don't know how to spell that. Let me see.
Trussel, I think.
Yeah. Family Hour podcast. It's pretty. It's a pretty cool, really cool things.
I like the name. Family Hour podcast. That's cool.
And
Thank
of course,
you.
here you can get the hands-on stuff here. Of course.
Right.
Yeah, I have a super interesting relationship with self-help books for sure.
What do you feel about it?
I mean, not any knock on them at all. It's just where I'm at in my personal journey, time, whatever. But I've become very almost sort of cynical. I used to listen to a lot of. Do you know Alan Watts, Jessica?
Yes. I mean,
Ye-
I don't follow him or anything, but yes.
Yeah, yeah. Like a lot of negativity that I would feel, I would sort of siphon it through like listening to that, or like a lot of very specific philosophies that made me feel a lot better. And then I, I don't know. I realized that like I was venting things to other things that I necessarily like didn't believe in, you know. And like I don't have it figured out, but I'm not sure like, you know, we're all just doing our best. I don't know if any specific person does.
Yeah. It's pretty
Uh-huh.
interesting when someone says they're a life coach. I'm like, how are you a life coach if you're living life too? You know, like I just always wonder about that. 'Cause, I mean, I get it. It's they're positive, but it's always one of those things of like, how can you be a coach of this? You're still a player.
Right.
It's so weird.
Yeah.
Yeah, in the expert space that I was talking about earlier, things that I ditched in my life.
Yeah.
What they always say is, you don't have to know everything. You only have to be one step ahead of your audience. Which, I mean, that is true. Like you can learn a lot from somebody who's just a little further ahead than you. But on the other hand, there is something, Finest, I agree with you. There is something, just the term life coach, and I've never worked with one, and I probably should. But I hear what you're saying.
Here's what pissed me off, Jessica, is I find that kind of phrasing a lot. Like Alan Watts used to say, like, I'm not telling you these things. I'm just positing it as an option for you to think about. And it's like, no, fuck you. You are positing. Just say that this is what you think and you want me to listen to it, you know? And people more and more, they like put it behind this veil of like, well, it's up to you to decide. You don't have to know anything. And it's like, either that's an excuse for the fact that you don't fucking know anything, or, you know, you're just sort of passive aggressively trying to sell me on this.
Oh yeah, they're trying to sell you something. Right?
Yeah, but most things are trying to sell.
And I'm okay with it. I agree with you, Jessica, too. I'm pretty curious that I'm like, why not hear this person out? You know, why not? I don't think I've ever had a life coach, or maybe I don't know, maybe I need one. I try it though. If someone was offering a free pass to be life coach, I'd try it out and say, why not? You know.
A lot of my friends are getting their life coaching certifications, and I'm like, that guy, like.
I wonder. I think maybe it's more like apprenticeship, because if someone came to me as a life coach, I'm like, what do you do? And I'm like, I don't think I want to do what you do, so I don't need your coaching. I want to
Well,
go coach.
they're just trying to make money. Like I wouldn't trust them to tell me how to pour cereal in the morning, but I don't know.
Kind
It's
of
like
sounds
yeah,
Yeah.
Sounds
Grandpa.
like back in the 50s or 60s when they were they were pushing Buddhist chanting, trying to find yourself. I think you have to have confidence in your own abilities and your own senses.
Mm,
Yeah.
you seem to have that, Grandpa.
I think so. I think I do.
I'd also be kind of sketchy if someone makes you pay for something like Buddhism or religion or coaching of life. So I'm like, I'm gonna live life regardless for free. So why are you making me pay for this? I don't, I mean, I don't know. It's just like, I guess I get it because coaching, like you pay for the coaching because it makes your life a little easier. But I wouldn't pay for Buddhism.
You shouldn't have to pay for Buddhism.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
I mean, God, I hope nobody's trying to charge anybody for Buddhism.
Lots of people.
I'll be real.
Real.
I'd be real upset if I get communion passed to me while I'm in my monk. I'm sitting there and doing my monk thing. I'm like, what is this?
Yeah, when you're praying under a tree and then they pass around the collection plate.
Ain't that how it goes?
Be one with the tree, and then also I need a new carburetor.
Yeah. We have to maintain this tree. Someone's got to keep it maintained.
Yeah.
That's right.
That's hilarious.
Yeah. Would you ever tout your spirituality for money, Grandpa? Ever pimp out your one with the mind and all that stuff?
No, I don't think that that doesn't appeal to me. I don't think that anyone should really make a living from that sort of thing, or even from religious religious views. I
Yeah.
don't think
Your email's also farthing bank though, so.
Yeah, but you know what a farthing is?
What is it? Tell us.
It's a quarter of a penny.
And why did you stumble upon that email, Grandpa?
You talking about that word farthing bank?
Farthing bank, yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. I guess I don't remember why.
Well, Jessica, we've got our next guest coming up. Do you have any last thoughts?
I just have one. I'm a United Methodist, and years ago, when I was still like a church woman, I was a certified lay speaker, and I got paid by churches that asked me to come and do worship for them. They paid me $75 to lead worship. So I just saying.
How's that make you feel? Well, maybe next time we have to worry about it. I mean, we'll dig into that later.
Oh, I thought that was totally cool. I mean, I don't see anything wrong with that. Honestly, that's why I was mentioning it. I mean, like pastors don't work for free.
That's true.
Why should they work for free?
No, everybody's gotta, make their own living. Yeah.
Very true.
Yeah.
So maybe that'll make you never like invite me back.
No,
never.
We also have to hear about the thing in a couple weeks. If you want to come on, I mean, it's up to you. But I love having you.
I want to hear about this mystery thing.
Yeah, I'm dying to tell you. I mean, and because I'm dying to have it like in the works.
Right.
Manifest, yeah.
In the meantime, enjoy your next guest and have a wonderful rest of the show. And thank you so much for inviting me. You guys are really lovely.
Thank you so much for coming. Have a good night.
Thanks, you too. Bye.
Bye. She's so nice.
So nice.
Hello, Les.
Hello.
What is good?
Les.
Oh, everything. I'm the paid pastor.
You were listening in.
I know. I was like, wait a minute. I was like, so we have somebody who was just talking about this.
Yeah. I was interested in hearing what you guys had to say, and that's.
I should have kept my mouth shut.
No.
I couldn't have planned this better. This is beautiful.
This is hilarious. You know what? I'm just thinking that I have been interested in Buddhism, but I'm thinking I'm going on the wrong track because they don't make no money.
That's not what the money. That's not the thing.
Well, let me tell you what. Most pastors don't make any money either. I was working in the telecommunications world for 25 years before I truly felt called by God to become a pastor. Right. Mm-hmm. And in 1999, I was making about $150,000 a year in the work I was in. Now think of $150,000 in $1999. that's a lot of money.
Mm.
And so I felt called to go into the ministry, and I went from $150,000 to $20,000.
Wow.
So it's a huge adjustment, but it's not about the money. So
What
Uh,
about
That's it.
the TV angelists like the mega church making millions? What are your thoughts on that?
I I'm not sure you
Uh-oh.
want to hear that.
Yeah, yeah, we do.
Um, yeah,
Yeah.
There we go.
yeah. That's between them and God. I don't really see a whole lot of um, true Christianity there. Let me just say that.
Mm.
There's a movement called it's the faith movement, where they say that God wants you to be rich. He wants you to have airplanes. He wants you to have big houses, and you just don't have enough faith. So if you only have enough faith, then you can have all this that I have. Now, in order to start that faith, you need to plant a seed of faith by sending me $50.
That is so sketchy. That is,
It's a con.
yeah,
I mean,
yeah. That,
seriously. It's a con. That's what it is. So no, I'm not a fan of those guys.
Yeah.
no,
It's
go ahead.
no, I just think it's a very fine line between like someone who wants to help other people and then all they have to do is this one thing and then they could make a lot of money from it, or a
Right,
lot more.
right,
And
yeah,
I'm all for understanding that you got to keep the lights on, and and I also understand as you grow as a religion is how you want. I mean, which is I think some of the goals anyway is spreading the word. I understand you got to pay to keep this thing going, but it
right.
is very. I never felt it. Always makes me feel some type of way whenever I don't even. Yeah, I'm gonna be honest. Even when I get communion passed to me, I'm like, man, this is so ungodly. Or something, that I'm like giving money. But even that is a difference. Like I feel like it's different me giving communion than me paying like $20 down payment for a seed of faith or
Yeah,
something like that.
yeah. Now there are pastors that and I think I mentioned before, I'm Southern Baptist, and we're not rolling on the floor speaking in tongues or anything. We just
Mm-hmm.
have real quiet services, and there are some pastors that have 20,000 member churches that are making millions of dollars.
Yeah.
And personally, I don't agree with that. I don't think that any pastor should make any more than the average salary of the congregation.
Okay.
Mm.
So if the congregation on an average makes $1 million, okay, great, make $1 million. But if the congregation makes $10,000, then why should he get more?
That makes sense. I would ask someone that question if I get the chance. I'll keep that in mind.
Yeah, because the second church I was in was mostly rural people, and most of them didn't have more than an eighth or ninth grade education, and they were working at Walmart. And so I told them, I said, I don't want any more than what the average member makes, and so that's what we did, and so that's what
Yeah,
I've always done. So
it's really nice.
Yeah, I
Very
think
good.
they'd argue that they'd say, "Well, you're saving 10 people, I'm saving 20,000." I got a
Oh, because there's a lot more voices that they're hearing, or
Yeah, well, I used to listen to this really popular. I think he was like a psychiatrist, psychologist who had like a lot of help and advice and stuff. And
Mhm.
someone asked like, "Oh, well, what do I do? What do I actually do?" And he's like, "If you go to my site for $12.99, you fill out that form, and it'll save you. It'll really help." And
uh-huh.
I paid the money, and I haven't gotten through it, but I feel like I don't know. Maybe I'm just a sucker. I don't know. Yeah.
Yeah, that's yeah. I'm not a fan of those things. But that's just me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I get it, and I also like that you. I think people that feel okay and justified for doing it, I feel sometimes I'm judging a bit. I can't,
No, yeah, I
eh,
agree. Yeah, I agree. I am too. But the thing about it is, like I say, that's between them and God. And if their congregation is okay with it, then that's between the congregation and them. So,
yeah.
Mm.
I bet he throws
but
really nice pool parties and whatnot.
yeah, but I don't know. I just don't agree with it.
Well,
Something
did
we
you hear?
were. Oh, go on, Finest. Go on.
Do you remember
Well,
Jim and Tammy Baker?
Oh Lord, yeah. Jim and Tammy Baker. They were actually here in North Carolina. I'm in North Carolina, and they were based out of Charlotte, and they were making millions and millions of dollars.
did they
They
get in
were,
trouble?
yeah, they were. Um, there were tax reasons. They were stealing money. The money wasn't going where it was supposed to go. I mean, it was a whole mess. And so they had this park called Heritage USA, and what it was kind of like Bart. Do you remember that?
Vaguely, yeah.
Okay, it was kind of like I was trying to think of how to describe it. It was kind of like Disney World, except on a little smaller scale. It's
Mm-hmm.
where it's supposed to be the place where Christians could come and and have a good time and all that. And they
That is
charge,
funny.
yeah, and they would charge $500 a room, for
No.
hotels and stuff like that. And
Jeez.
I mean, it was just crazy. And so anyway, Jim got arrested. I don't know how Tammy didn't, and he served time. And for some reason now he's back on TV, and
Really?
people are sending him money again. I
Yeah.
just, yeah,
So is the Wolf of Wall Street. Like why quit?
yeah, yeah, absolutely. It's
Yeah.
some people just don't learn.
I got almost scammed real bad one time. You guys know what is it, Amway?
Oh,
Oh
The
yeah,
big pyramid scheme thing. I, I
yeah.
I I fell for it. I went to one of those meetings. I didn't know what it was, and I was there, and I went through the whole thing. Um, and then I dipped after the first one, and they didn't take any of my money. But like it was crazy, like
Yeah.
how elaborate. Like I was just shopping I was buying a pair of jeans or something, and this guy walked up to me and said, "Gosh, you are just so well dressed." And I was like, I've never heard that before in my life. And so
that's
I
how
was
you
like,
knew it was a scam.
yeah, no, but I got,
wearing your wife beater. I mean, wife beater.
yeah. I was like, I'm not even wearing clothes right now. I don't know what you're. So I, I'm like, you can tell me anything and I'll be happy, sir. What's up? And he's like, you look like the kind of guy I want to get into business to. And I said, I'm like a dumb artist, but all right, let's get into business. What do you want? And he's like, I'm a part of this like amazing cohort. And he's like, before I can tell you about it, let's just the two of us get coffee. And I was like, all right, cool. So 2 days later, I'm like looking forward to this. I'm like, I got a business meeting because I'm a well-dressed guy. I I fucking go to coffee at a Starbucks, and he has like an assistant, like a business
no.
person. I'm like, this is so legit. This is so cool. So I'm sitting there, and I'm dressed like real nice this time. Like I put on like 2 wife beaters, and I
Just real nice.
Brought out the
I,
good
I covered both my shoulders, and
ones.
I was like, what is this? What is he's like? Well, it depends. Like, are you really
Oh
interested in
no.
making a lot of money? And I was like, well, yeah, like I mean, I don't think it's the most important thing, but I mean, if I'm with people that I really like and respect, and you guys seem to like me a lot. So, and he's like, okay, well, there's going to be a third meeting, and this time it's going to be a lot of
Oh.
people. And I was like, tell me about it. He's like, I can't tell you about it now, but you got to go to this hotel. And I was like, that hotel's right next to my apartment. This is so convenient. What are the odds?
Right.
So I go to this hotel, and I walk in, and this is like a week later, we're in the main conference room, and there's hundreds of people, and they're all so well dressed. And then I'm like, this is, I found it. Yeah, this is my group. And they go and and they put on a PowerPoint, and it says, Amway, pay X amount of money and you'll be a part of this thing. And
Oh
it
gosh, that
was
sucks.
literally like a picture of a pyramid. And and they were like, you can
Stop.
make up to like $1 million in the first year. And then in an asterisk at the bottom in little letters it said, this is not true. You can't actually make $1 million the first year. And I was like pointing up at it, and I left, but it was really crazy to see like hundreds of people all trying to like sell other people subscriptions to this product where nobody's actually making any money, and they all fully believed it. Like they were so into it and so excited. And
Well,
yeah,
this is kind of
that's
a
my
micro version of what America is already. Kind of, but anyway, yeah, go ahead. Sorry.
Yeah, and they all had the merchandise stored in their garage for like 3 years.
yeah.
Like $20,000 worth of shampoo or whatever it was.
It was shampoo. It was shampoo. It was,
Oh God.
Hypoallergenic shampoo. So
yeah, good job.
I don't know. I was there and I was like, how could people fall for this? But then I was looking back to myself at the jeans store and I was like, well, just a couple compliments.
Yeah, I went to a couple Cutco. I went to a Cutco meeting. It's basically the same thing. We had to sell those knives.
So what woke you up to the fact that it was a scam?
It was really just pure young laziness. When they told me I had to sit there and like listen for like X amount of time, I was like, this will never happen. I will never come back. I'm not doing it.
Well, that's. Yeah, I know y'all were talking about success before, right?
Yeah.
Success is the American dream, and the thing is that what I know y'all are talking about, the different views on it, but it seems like to me the basic one from the time that I was around, and I don't know, Bart, you're about my age too. It was, whoever has the most money wins. And that's kind of, still is, I guess, eh?
At this point, I'm just trying to survive. That would be a great American dream for me to achieve. If I could be like, hey, look at me, I'm 32 goals.
Yeah, that's right. That's right.
Yeah. So, I want to get the American dream is again, we're talking about like earlier about responsibility too. I don't know if I want to do the American dream because it's a lot of responsibility and there's a good chance I won't be happy. Where I can at least be like, be happy and do my own dream.
Well, you're right, because of the fact that, I was telling you about I worked in telecommunications for 25 years, and I got up the corporate ladder. I mean, that was my goal, to climb that corporate ladder and, be successful. And I basically got almost to, right at the top. And then I looked around and I said, okay, what's next? I mean, if you reach that goal, then what do you do next?
Did it make you happy?
No. I mean, that's the whole thing.
And then, he went all the way down to 20K just because he was trying to find happiness.
I know. I just wanted to start over,
Yeah, no, I get it. Well,
I
we hadn't even talked about, I was wondering, what did you think about the debate? Did you have any opinions of it? We were talking about so much other cool things.
Oh, Lord. I don't watch those things.
Oh, good.
Wow, finest.
No, I've read all about it, but if I try to watch those things, it just makes me mad, and on both sides. So, from what I heard, I mean, it was one of the most awful things that has ever been shown on TV. So,
yeah.
No, I won't. I won't watch them.
It reminded me of my Amway meeting.
Yeah. The thing about it is that I don't think that those debates, and maybe you guys differ, and that's okay. I don't think anybody changes a vote from watching those debates.
Nah,
not when they run like this.
It solidifies things, Yeah, you're right.
I would love to talk to someone who is on the fence, and then it decides it for them.
It's like, you know what?
Yeah.
After hearing that.
Yeah, I was really impressed with. I was really impressed with so and so. Yeah, let's go for him.
It legit seemed like a fight of two it was just two guys arguing. I can go. I live in New York. I can go to Subway and see the same thing.
They were just talking over each other.
Talking about people's brothers and sisters and cousins. I was like, what is this?
Yeah.
Does it give you confidence in our government?
I haven't had confidence in our government since 1958. So
what was prolific in that time? What happened? That it was like, oh no.
The Eisenhower administration was ending, and Nixon was involved. So,
yeah. You know, I do find it a little sketchy when someone can run for president more than once. It made me kind of think like something's up here. This must not be a true democracy where everyone could be president. If Nixon or someone else can run twice, like how is that possible? There's a lot of people here in America. You know, it doesn't kind of add up. It makes me think there's some type of something going on.
Yeah, and the thing about it, and Bart, correct me if I'm wrong, or Brandon, whoever. I think if you look back on history, I can't remember a vice president ever winning the presidency immediately after he served as vice president.
No, I don't think right after.
Yeah. So.
Except I maybe John Adams. I don't know.
But you're talking about with one term in between, like Joe Biden's doing right now, or
no? You're talking about like straight off the back.
Yeah. Well, yeah. Well, it could be one term in between too. But I don't remember. It's like whenever when Clinton, right? Whenever he finished, then Gore, his vice president, ran. And then Gore lost the race by 5 votes. And whenever, let's see, Johnson didn't run, then I think it was Humphreys, right? Who was his vice president. So it just seems like a bunch of vice presidents. Nixon was the vice president for Eisenhower, and he ran against Kennedy, and he lost. So I don't think vice presidents have a real good track record.
Yeah, I mean, tying it back to the success thing, like imagine being vice president and like you're the second most powerful person in the world, and then you're like, can't get there.
Oh, the only one way, right?
Yeah, it's pretty crazy. I just think too, like anybody that would want to, that's like, out of like, you know, hundreds of millions of people, like I'm the person, like I can run it better than everybody else. Like it's a crazy position to have.
I couldn't stand all the arguing. I tell you, it was kind of like your previous guest. I may have misunderstood her, or maybe one of y'all said it. You know, I just want to do what I do and be left alone. You know, that's all I want to do.
Yeah, the privacy thing. I agree. I'm in that same boat.
Yeah.
I just want to do nothing and get lots of attention. So
and money comes
there.
Yeah. And money comes with that. So you know you're a success, Brandon. That makes you a success.
Yeah, I guess so.
You're on the route to the American dream. I'm so sorry. You know what? Yeah, and you follow your passions. If that's what you really like, you have to do it.
Well, that's what I think success is. I think success is if you're happy. I think that's success. I mean, no matter what you're doing, if you're happy in what you're doing and it's legal, let me just add that. I think that's a successful life.
What makes you happy, Lois?
Oh man, that's a good question. Well, I'm happy. You know, I'm happy being a pastor. Although I retired last November, and then somehow I got swung back into it. But No, I'm happy doing that. But as far as what makes me happy, I don't know. Tell you the truth, I really don't. I'll have to think about that one and get back to you, Brandon.
Okay.
It's a tough one. It's a tough one.
Maybe next week.
Yeah, maybe next week. Yeah.
What
Oh,
about
and
you guys? Yeah, what's up?
I was just going to say, I'm sorry about, I guess you guys changed the Wednesday night and all that. And I have, being a pastor, I have Wednesday night Bible study, so I can't do it, on Wednesday nights normally. But I'm on vacation at the beach, right, for these 2 weeks. Hey,
Oh,
Ooh.
nice.
that,
Where you at? You said where do you stay at? Carolina?
yeah, that makes
Yeah.
me happy. Yeah, that makes me happy.
Being on
I
vacation at a
I
beach.
was
Being on
talking to
vacation at the beach.
I
Yeah.
was talking to someone from Carolina recently, and they said that I heard good things about Myrtle Beach, and they said Myrtle Beach is not the place to go. How's Myrtle Beach? Have you been there?
Myrtle Beach is not. North Myrtle Beach is. And
Okay.
there's a huge difference. Myrtle Beach is like you live in New York, right?
Yeah. Uh-huh.
It's going to like the worst part of New York. It's dirty, it's ugly, it's dangerous, blah blah blah. North Myrtle Beach is where you got your middle class and those folks and who will at least they won't rob you blind to your face.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's a lot safer there. But North Myrtle Beach is good, and it gets a lot of people. A lot of Canadians, for some reason, they drive all the way down to Myrtle Beach. I don't know what the deal is about Canada and Myrtle Beach,
Must
but
have a really good rep. Somebody went down there, had a great old time, and came back
yeah,
up.
I
yeah,
feel like
yeah. One told the other, and it just got around. I don't
even at
know.
a young age, I knew what Myrtle Beach. I don't know why. I'm originally from Indiana, so even from
Yeah.
Indiana, I'm like I heard of Myrtle Beach, and I just always heard about it. I don't
Was it in
know.
like a Goosebump book or something? Like I know that
I,
too.
it's just like I just think it's weird that it's a beach that's not like in Florida. I thought as a young kid it'd be like even when I said it, I was like, oh, it's got to be in like California or Florida or somewhere fancy. Not that Carolina's not fancy, but uh,
Yeah, well, if you look at the beaches like in New York, right?
mhm.
You don't really have white sands and that kind of thing around the city. I don't guess, do you?
No,
No, but if you go to where Long Island or somewhere like that, you have or Coney Island, you have a beach, right?
yeah,
Okay, but then it's the same way all the way down the East Coast. There's not really a place with a lot of sand and a good beach and easy access to the water until you get to Myrtle Beach. And so that's kind of, I think, one reason that it's popular. But I'm at Oak Island, which is north of that because it's cheaper for one thing. And we've been coming here for years, and I like to surf fish. And I caught 2 fish today, and they were about the size of my hand. And so I decided not to eat them, and I threw them back in the water. Well,
Lovely.
no,
That's
no, I like to fish, but I don't want to mess with them. So I always throw them back.
yeah.
Brandon and I went fishing one time, and he didn't really enjoy catching fish, I don't think. But if you
Really?
recall, we threw them back.
I don't remember this, Grandpa. How
Yeah.
really?
Yeah, you went with me. I think it was up near Chambersburg. I think so.
How old was I?
I'm gonna say 8, 9, 10. I don't remember
Whoa.
exactly.
I'm
Yeah.
trying to remember. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's funny because I'm like, oh, I don't like fishing. I feel bad. And then I go to a sushi restaurant that's like all you can eat and just like shove them down my throat, So very
Yeah.
hypocritical. But
Yeah.
Fishing is
That's
like my guilty pleasure. I actually have fond memories of fishing with my dad, and I still like to fish, even though so what they can't fish can't eat after I throw it back in there.
Yeah.
No, I mean
oh my god.
what? I mean,
Well, the fish can still eat. he may have a hole in his jaw, but he can
If
still.
if that fish is hungry enough, he'll find a way to eat. If not,
Oh God.
He's not worried.
no.
He's not worried about the now. He's worried about a couple of minutes from now where he just won't eat.
Yeah, he needs to read some Eckhart Tolle.
You're like an
Nothing
angel
can-
of death in a lake, man.
Nothing can compare to the father son time that me and my dad are gonna get. So, a couple of fish
Yeah.
gotta suffer.
Yeah.
It's good. No, I would definitely go to. I went to Tennessee and fished. I have not been to. I don't think I've ever been to Carolina, but definitely want to go down there. I would go fishing.
Well, if you come down to Carolina, you look me up and I'll take you freshwater fishing and saltwater fishing.
Wow, that
Wow.
would be so great. I mean, that's so. Thank you. I appreciate that. Wow.
I
Yeah.
need a video of that. That would be so cool.
Yeah.
Crazy.
Yeah. Yeah.
We're getting to that time, Les, but I want to thank you for coming on again. It's been amazing. Always glad to have you.
Okay. I really appreciate you guys having me, and you have a great rest of your night.
Really
You
hope
too.
to see
Enjoy
you
your
soon.
vacation.
Nice to
Okay.
hear from you again.
Yeah. Thank
Yeah.
you. Bye-bye.
Sierra, before we go to the next person real quick, what are we feeling? Scams, success, happiness, religion, like what?
Oh, I don't know. I don't
Yeah.
know.
I like this is the scams of success. They seem to be sticking pretty hard. But
Yeah.
I'm gonna run to the restroom really quick.
It's been quite a roller coaster. Okay.
I don't know about you guys, but I'm getting so many calls, scam calls,
Oh my
and
God.
on my internet and my phone almost
Yeah.
every day.
I think the
Claiming
scam
to
thing's
be-
interesting, right? Like, have you ever been scammed, Grandpa? Like fallen for one?
I was scammed one time, and it was I made a big mistake. Somebody called saying they were from Comcast, and Comcast actually came up on my TV screen. And I
Oh,
let them get into my computer, and I see all my files being run, and I right away turned off the computer. But I think they got a lot of my files.
oh no.
Oh God.
And after that, I've not made any mistakes. That was a few years ago, and that's the one
Dang.
time that because I see Comcast right on my TV screen, and how they can get away with that, I don't know. But
Did they end up getting any money or like what happened?
I've had a few instances, for instance, where someone like bought a tractor, and supposedly like a $3,000 tractor went from eBay, and I had to get it reversed on my
Oh my God.
either PayPal or bank account, I forget which. And I've had a few of those things happen over the years, but that's pretty
A
much.
few tractors? Oh my God.
No, once was a tractor. There was another expensive item. I don't recall what it was right now.
Who are
But yeah,
scamming
they got into
farmers
my
out
account.
here?
Yeah,
Scamming
for real.
farmers.
You really have to be careful today because there's so much of it going on, and they're very clever.
Yeah.
A lot of them
You
are very
ever
clever.
fall for a scam, Sierra?
No, but you know what? I had an old friend try to swindle me like in June or July.
Oh,
And
no.
like they found me on LinkedIn, and I was excited because I've been a good lady quarantining myself, and I was like, oh, it's my friend I haven't seen in literally almost 10 years. Like someone
Yeah.
is reaching out because they were thinking about me and they missed me, and I was like so excited, and they were like, hey, like what are you doing on Saturday? Can I call you? Like, I want to catch up so bad. And I was so excited because I was like, someone remembered Sierra exists and that I'm still alive. And then I called this person, and it was like they were asking me questions, like they were like it was almost a normal conversation. It was like questions like, what are you doing? Instead of asking like, what are you up to? Like, where have you been? It was like it started like that, but then it evolved. Instead of like I told them like I graduated with like a double major in Spanish and television, and they were like, instead of asking like, oh, what do you want to do with your degree, it was like, what are your dreams, like what do you aspire to be, like it's like, what is your end goal, like before you die, everything you want achieved. And I was like, oh well, I don't know. And I was like, it was going like that, and then it just changed. It was like, what if I, and then they told me this crazy ass story about like some like 30-year-olds they met that quit their jobs to pursue their dreams, and now they're making 6 figures because they just quit their jobs on the spot, and now those are their mentors. And then they were like, Sierra, what if I told you I could possibly, I can't promise anything, but what if I told you I could maybe put you into contact with these people? What would that be worth to you? And I was like, well, what's going to happen? And they're like, well, I can't make any promises, but just tell me, what would that be worth to you? Okay. Would you like your life to take off in an exciting new direction, or do you just want it to stay the same and be just see if you can succeed on your own? And I was like, well, I don't know about that. And so then we pivoted to like some other scheme, and then it just got weird, and I was like, is this a sales pitch? They're like, what? I'm like, are you trying to sell me like some Cutco knives or something? Because there's always posters for Cutco knives at my college, and they never say it's Cutco knives. It just says, student opportunity, hire workers, we want to pay you. And so it was like, they're like, oh no, I would never do that to you. I would never do that to you, Sierra. I'm just trying to offer you a cool opportunity. And then they tried to tell me about some crazy online store, and then they mentioned Amway, and it was just a hot mess. Oh, wow. And it was all Amway related tomfoolery, and I was so irritated because I was like, you have not talked to me, seen me in like literally like 9 years, and then I was like, you have the audacity to call me only to try to scam me. It wasn't like, oh hey, like I just started a small business, I love your support, I know we haven't heard from each other in a while. I would do that. I didn't have any money, but I would at least be open to that. But but no, it was just like,
did they tell you they really liked your dress that day?
I did not. It was just over the phone because it was like this summer.
Because that's what got me.
That's really funny though. That's really funny though that they caught you like that. I
can't believe that. But it wasn't a fake person. It was like your real friend.
It was my real friend. And I was very upset about it.
Yeah.
Ain't that how it goes?
Yeah, I think this podcast is going to be called Swindled.
How to get swindled. How not to get swindled.
I've almost been... I can be very, very gullible. I know. Because I'll take stuff to like the very end.
I know, because you're too nice.
Yeah, I've been almost by the person like
not
trying to rent a house. Someone had me I almost sent them like money in my bank savings. Every time it's my parents saving me, when I'm just like calling them, going, "Oh, I found this great place. Oh, and this is a setup," and they go, "Oh no, that's fake." Or the IRS called my phone once, left a message, and I was ready to like give it all up.
Was it that really fake automated message?
Yeah.
Stop.
And I tried to find out my mom. I was like, it was like some type of mistake, and I was like, oh no, I'm terrible at taxes. I know I did something wrong. So I was trying to get all my money together. I was like, I know I owed them a lot of money. Told my dad, I was like, Dad, I don't know, but I fucked up. And he's like, no, they. So I definitely have been almost scammed. I don't think I've ever been scammed. Or if I have been, I fully believed it, and don't know if it happened.
It's really sad that the government can't do anything to shut these operations down.
I guarantee you they can.
They're getting worse and worse.
I guarantee you they can. Just no one has called the president yet and asked him, which honestly would probably be a pretty good idea.
Maybe if he got scammed, he would shut it all down.
This is the IRS.
You scam him first, and then he'll be like, okay.
Honestly, it's probably why TikTok is trying to get banned so hard. We got Paige on the line.
Ooh, Joel did not come on.
Nah, not today. Bienvenidos, Paige.
Hello, can you hear me?
Yes. How are you?
I'm great. How are you guys?
Just splendid.
We're great.
Good.
Have you ever been swindled by a stranger or a loved one?
So, by a loved one, no, thank God for that. But I have been scammed, but not like how they are now. It was just like my credit card number got taken somehow off the internet. So I had my card, and then I saw all these charges on my account. So I was like, how did this happen? And it was knives. Why are knives always involved with these things? I don't get it. But it was a bunch of knives. And so I was in college, and my parents called, and they were like, Paige, we just got 2 giant cases of knives.
Oh no.
And like 4 boxes of randomly acai pills, like weight loss pills. And they were like, what do you
What do
have
you
to
do?
tell us? Yeah. And I
That
was
is
like,
hilarious.
what? But I was able to get the money back because my bank is very good about it. Like, honestly, if I was like drunk and bought something and said it was a scam, they'd probably give me my money back. They've been
Did you get to
great.
keep the knives?
Yeah, I still have them currently in my kitchen.
Well, are they good? Like, they're
Wow.
good knives?
They are. Yes. I mean, I haven't used a lot of them because like some of them are so sharp they like freak me out. But so then yeah, they're great
Oh.
knives.
All
It must
right.
be a racket because I think a knife can last a long time, but they just are like, no, we got to keep selling them.
That's
Figure
what
it
I
out.
don't understand. Like, if you're trying to sell me really good knives, like, I'm not gonna get new ones. That's it. I don't. Where else am I gonna go with this?
Yeah, I do think it's fun to cut through stuff with those knives.
hmm
That's always cool.
Like, what's that, guys? You want some oxtail? I got you.
Ooh, oxtail.
Cut right through that bad boy.
Um, if you catch someone swindling you, that's not a business. How do you feel? Are you gonna like? What if Are you give them a second chance?
Oh, like a person.
Yeah, yeah. I don't know what the relationship should be. A
I get it.
coworker.
Yeah, so like with these MLMs that have been discussed,
Yeah.
What is
like
that?
pyramid scheme, multi-level marketing system is what
Oh,
so there's like multiple names and they hide it. And like you were saying about a friend of yours who kind of was trying that,
Mm-hmm.
that has happened to me, but nothing extreme. And usually I can like tell, but there was this one girl who I've known since like I was a baby, and we're not like close anymore, but I randomly got a Facebook message and I could immediately tell because it was like scripted. It was eerie. It was like someone
Mhm.
else within her body. And I was just like, Meg, what is wrong? And she like wouldn't acknowledge that like she was her. You know, she was like, so if you pursue this opportunity, and I was like, Meg, like stop. Who got to you? Like how did this happen? And like she's
Yeah.
yet to talk about it. This was a few years ago. So I don't think she lost too much money, I would hope. But I think it happens at least once to everybody, like, or they show up and then they're like, oh fuck, what's happening? And then they leave.
yeah.
I don't know. I don't hold it against people.
Yeah, I'm saying to give them. Yeah, I'm like I feel like we all are going to sell knives at some point in our lives to somebody. And it's all we're all trying to eat. It just comes with
Yeah, I don't like though when like these weird callers like call a lot of like elderly people and like really kind of abuse the fact that they don't really understand. Not that no one does, but they confuse them. Like
Mhm.
it's happened to my aunt. Like she has lost thousands of dollars by going to the bank and getting money out. And these people are on the phone too. Like it's not like a robot. They are actually a
Yeah.
person, which makes it more believable. And then they like take over your bank account and hold you hostage. It's crazy.
That makes
It's
it worse that it's a
Yeah.
person on the phone, honestly, than like just some automated thing that somebody set up to steal money. That makes it
Yeah.
worse.
Yeah, like
Um,
just last week, a friend of mine, her uncle happened to him, and they actually had the bank called the cops because they noticed that he was probably getting taken advantage of. So then when the scammer called back at his house, the cops were there and they answered, which is kind of
Ooh.
very satisfying.
Got him.
what type? Usually when I think of people doing salesman stuff, I think they're like looking for that big sale, that big like they're like one of those movies where someone's trying to sell stock and stuff, and they're like talking to the person on the phone, they're trying to negotiate. I wonder if this person feels the same way when they're like taking advantage of older people. I wonder,
Yeah, it just seems so evil to me,
it
because they
seems so
know what
evil.
they're
Yeah,
doing.
it just seems very evil.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I
You should
always
get
want
one.
revenge. Like I mean, like I don't know. The big things are like it doesn't matter, but if someone like takes my wallet or something, like the steps of going to the DMV, like I'm just thinking about that person the whole time, like how much negative energy they've caused me, and like I just would love to get them back.
Yeah.
Yeah, because the majority of the time, even though they are targeting people, they don't get a ton of money out of these people. So it's like, it's not even worth it. And then, yeah, you cause this person so much distress and hate in their hearts. And it's just, I don't know. I mean, I
Yeah.
guess they do make a living at it because that's why they're doing it, but it just sucks.
You believe in karma, Paige?
I do. Yeah. I mean, I'm not like, a hippy dippy about it, but I think I've seen it come to fruition enough before my eyes where I'm like, okay, there's somebody looking out and someone is helping this karma move its way along, whether that's
to yourself or
have I ever had like karma happen to me?
or you've seen other people have it.
I have, yes. I have seen it happen. But, you know, who knows? Obviously, it could just be like a coincidence. But,
Yeah.
you know, I feel like it isn't because there's things that they did in the past and then something
Yeah.
happens to them. And I'm like, oh, well, even if it is a coincidence, this is what karma is. They're the same.
Yeah.
So,
I believe the hype. I think there's no such thing as karma.
yeah.
I'm always like sciencey about it, but I do think it's like the whole saying of like, if you do dirt, your hands get dirty. And I
Mhm.
think that if you do mean things to people, you're going to get enemies. Like if you do
Mhm.
say
Very true.
a caller taking advantage of older people, I really do think at some point or another, it's not even like just off of like a game of chance. There's a reason someone's going to probably want to get revenge on you rather than someone that does all good. And then I just think that that's where the karma is where I'm at. Like if you always lie, someone's lying to you, most likely. I think.
Yeah, and like the energy too. Like I guess karma is, you know, the earth. It's all energy. So if you're putting out that negative energy, it's bound to kind of like be attracted to you as well. So, you know, karma will come get you. But also, I just kind of hope it exists because of all the terrible things that happen in the world. Like it gives me hope. Like I know that sounds like the antithesis of what we're talking about, but like, you know, these really horrible, evil people and things that happen, you kind of are like, okay, if karma doesn't exist, like how am I going to wake up tomorrow? You know, like it's a comfort too. So
I know a lot of really shitty people that are doing pretty good right now.
I know, isn't that insane? That makes me so mad.
But I hope they come back as like a bed bug or something, you know, forever.
The most hated creature on the planet.
Yeah. I think it's like what Les was saying though. Like they may be doing really well, but because they're doing so much negativity and they're so involved in negative energy that they may be looking like they're making $193,000 a year, but they may be really just extremely sad. You know, like they may have like, you know, because they stab so many people in the back, they're looking behind their back, they're all paranoid, you know. So maybe they're getting karma. Maybe. At least that's what I agree with you though, Paige, where I'm like, I just wanna the petty person, speaking of like last episode of being petty, like I just wanna believe in karma. Like I just want to like hope that someone does wrong is like having a hard time.
Yeah. At some point in their life or afterlife or whatever. Yeah.
No, not afterlife. I'm more petty than that. I want it when they lie.
Oh, I see. Okay.
I'd rather see it. I'd rather be around to hear.
You want to see it, yeah.
You believe in karma, Grandpa?
I do. You know, I think that that there is an action and reaction, or things go around. Yeah, I do believe in karma, and I think it can happen almost immediately, or it may take some time. You know, but eventually, I think that that the person does get what's due them. I think so.
Has that ever happened to you?
Yeah, I've had things happen to me. Yeah, things maybe I didn't do the right thing, and then something happened to me shortly after or sometime after.
Yeah.
And of course, you could just say, well, that's coincidence. We really don't know, but yeah, the answer is I do believe in karma. Yes.
Gotcha. What's the bad thing that you did?
Well, it's none of your
You're just
business.
gonna leave that out. Why are we talking all these vague? Everybody,
I mean,
there's one.
It couldn't be that bad that he seems to be okay right now, so the karma wasn't that bad.
Yeah. Well, I think we all make some mistakes in life. You know, some people more serious than others, for sure.
Yeah. How would I know all the good things if I didn't do a bunch of really shitty things, you know?
That's true. I think about that a lot. Like, you can't be happy all the time because there's nothing to compare it to.
Yeah.
I didn't come up with that. Snapple did, but
that's good. Thanks, Snap. You know, Paige, I'm gonna be off topic here, but I just want to ask this question.
Okay.
Okay, I'm trying. How can I put this into it? LeBron James has been to 9 finals in the last 10 years. That makes him the greatest of all time, yeah?
I suppose, yes.
I was trying to throw in the basketball because basketball is on tonight, and I just wanted to throw in a little wrench. But no, it just seems like I just wanted to say it out there. I'm not a big LeBron James fan, but I think that he's been there 9 times out of the last 10 years. It means he's really good.
I'm the perfect person to ask because
but-
I don't watch any sports. I know the name, and that's about it. So I have to agree with
you.
You
Know what?
just
The fact you
because
know his
I know
name, it's good. I like that. I like that. If you if you didn't agree with me, who knows what type of karma?
nothing. Right.
Was that Sunny, Sierra? Oh, something's up with the clean feed. But yeah, no, I think that it's weird how sometimes like the people that are doing the worst, like at the extremes, are receiving none of the karma, and then it's everybody who's like, oh man, I just want to like skip this work thing one day, and then it's like you get fucked over almost immediately. But
Yeah, there are theories too. Like, I don't know. I feel like my mom says sometimes, like, oh, well, there's a reason, like, I don't, this is like kind of morbid, but like if someone dies who's like a great person, or if they're like young and like it continually happens, it's like, well, there must be a reason. Like, all the good people aren't on Earth because Earth is so shitty or something. And I don't like that theory, but maybe there's something to that, that might be helpful to some.
I think that would give me a little solace, like, oh, suffering, life is suffering, and they got to end the suffering quickly. So that's that's the way
Right. So all the horrible people currently, that's why karma isn't coming to them, maybe because they're living it, this horrible existence on the planet Earth, which is grim for those of us that are living, but hopeful.
I can dig it.
Yeah.
I like that idea because it does make me feel a little bit more like, okay, yeah, I'm glad my dog died. Life is living.
Oh my God.
Well,
hey,
yeah,
I'm trying to look at the better side of things
no,
here.
For sure. I know that's why my mom says it, because she like has had many of a person in her life pass away, so she's that's why she's like, I have to believe that there's a reason that these people were like, taken and they're having a better time of it. So,
and not just to be joking about it, I do see some truth what she's saying though. Like I get like it makes a certain amount of sense where I'm like, well, this person does what is wrong and they're still living. It just, there's no way this makes sense. And it's like, I can understand.
Yeah.
Pretty morbid though. Your mom's pretty I'm just joking.
She's quite the lady. That's a whole other 3 hours of
Oh, all right. Give us 3 adjectives.
Quite the lady.
Oh, I mean, well, less about adjectives and more just about like what has happened to her in her life, But she's very wise because of what has happened. Basically, I won't tiptoe around it. She had a stroke when she was 22, so she's paralyzed on her left side. And like 2 of her best friends in high school died. One of them was literally murdered. So that's where that whole thing came from of like, okay, why is this happening? She got in a car accident like a little bit after, like when I was little, and broke her other arm that isn't paralyzed, so she couldn't use either hand. I had to learn her signature. God. Like, she's a Wonder Woman, but that's why she has these kind of thoughts, because she's like, okay, Earth sucks, the world is shit, but
honestly,
there's better stuff, and she tries to see the positive currently.
Yeah, currently, I guess it's an everyday battle, especially if you're going through all that. It can't be easy.
How'd she get through the trauma of that? Do you know?
She just kind of like took it day by day. She was so young, so I think it was just one of those things where like you would almost adapt quicker, and it's almost better that that's kind of when everything initially started, when she was so young.
Yeah.
And her parents were very like, you can't sit and cry and hate your, like, you have to get up and like do the rehab and do that. So she, to be honest, like, unless you really look for it, you wouldn't be able to tell. Like, she relearned how to walk, relearned how to drive. Like, she basically does everything. I forget, to be honest, half the time that she has anything wrong with her, because it's all I've ever known. It was before I was born. So,
right.
Yeah, it's a great person to be raised by and look up to. And also, you can't get away with shit. When I was like, Mom, I stubbed my toe. And she's like, okay, like, big deal.
She's like, oh no, sorry for your loss.
Right.
That's funny. What a great role model. I love it.
Honestly.
Yeah.
Aww.
Well, Paige, we've got our very last guest coming up. Do you have any last thoughts?
No, I don't think so. I think we really covered all of the existential, stuff.
Yeah. What a scam, right?
Yeah.
Thank you so much for being on. We really enjoyed having you.
Yeah, thank you so much.
Guys.
Have a good night.
You too. Bye.
Good night.
Bonjour, monsieur.
Am I the monsieur?
Oui, oui.
Oh, wow. Thanks so much for the really cool introduction. I've never been called a monsieur.
How's it feel?
It feels how, like, it feels in the movies. This is what that person in Titanic was talking about.
I'm glad you feel that way. So would you mind selling some knives for me?
We've been talking about scams.
That's how Brandon got
scams. Oh, yo, you want to hear something about scams? I got you right now.
Yes.
So during this quarantine, I got really into LinkedIn. I love LinkedIn now. I don't know why. It's the professional Facebook. Like it's where both parties come on and talk about professional stuff without.
We know what LinkedIn
political.
is, Sonny.
I'm taking notes.
So I got this job so when you have restaurant experience, people don't take it seriously for some reason. And so I saw a lot of these positions called customer service representative. And I finally got an interview. And I go in and immediately they're late to start my interview, which I think is a bad sign.
It's a power move.
Yeah, right. And then on top of that, they put me in a double interview where it's me and another person.
Total power move.
Yep.
Total power move. And then, I'm a really genuine guy. I don't think things through all the way when I'm talking because I'm just so, just so naive maybe is the word.
Trusting.
Trusting, yeah, there we go. And so I tell this guy, he's like, what do you do for fun? I was like, yeah, I'm a comedian on the side and stuff like that, right? And then as he starts talking, I'm like, holy shit, this is a pyramid scheme. And I get so mad at myself for letting myself come to this silly scam that I start writing down joke ideas about as the interview is happening in front of my face. I'm pretending to take notes, just talking about, just riffing ideas in my head. And then at the very end, he lets the other guy in the room, he dismisses the other guy, and then he looks at me, and he's like, Sonny, what's going to make you happy? And I say, I don't know, man. Money. I was like, a good job, family, things like that. And I was like, and then I was just straight up told him, I was like, dude, I don't think this job is for me, man. This seems like a scam.
What did he say?
He was pissed. You ever have that look on your face? Like when you go on a date and you paid a lot of money to go on, and then you're like, that wasn't even worth it.
You pay a lot of money to go on dates?
No, but I'm saying like, well, yeah, you know what? I pay a lot of money to go on dates, Brandon. I take him to Kings Island for the first date because I'm a gentleman.
Yeah, you know what? I wish we would have been around during, I think, the 70s. When did that group?
Yeah, I wish someone here was around during the 70s.
Oh yeah. Well, I'm saying a good date idea is going to that park that those religious people got in trouble for.
Oh yeah.
That religious. I really wish they would reinvent it, retro it, because I would go.
Oh my God! Imagine a first date at an Amway meeting. That would be nice. Grandpa.
What would be nice is if you still get the sale.
We're off for a rocker here. This is going crazy.
Yeah, this is going far.
What were your date spots before there was movies invented?
Movies invented.
Probably mostly going out to dinner, maybe a movie.
Maybe a movie, yeah.
Yeah, dinner and a movie, probably.
Hey, Bart, I'm actually kind of curious. I'm sorry, Brandon. I didn't mean to interrupt you, man.
No, go, son.
I just want to know, like, did you ever get scammed back in the day? Or were there like, you know how like reverse pyramid schemes? Like my generation is really worried about reverse pyramid schemes and big white vans.
What?
Yeah, big white vans.
Big white vans, yeah.
What is a reverse pyramid scheme?
What is it?
Yeah.
Like,
it's a successful business that's good.
You're worried about doing well.
Well, have you ever heard of like those Vimeo drinks? Have you ever had a friend be like, "Hey, I got this new business thing I'm a part of. Can you watch this video?" And then it's like this recruiting seminar where they're like, "If you pay us $30 to get this supply, then you can get your friends to sell it for you, and you make money every time your friends sell stuff for you."
That just sounds like a regular pyramid.
Typical pyramid.
I'm trying to figure out what this reverse pyramid scheme is. I hear.
Wait, are you serious? That's just called a pyramid scheme? It's not.
It's literally a pyramid because if you think about it, like if you're at the top, you've got to get some friends, and then they form the underlayer, and then their friends find friends, and that's a pyramid, bro.
And the opposite one is when all the rich people. I think it's like opposite pyramid scheme is like trickle down effect. Trickle down. Yeah, I don't know.
Okay, that makes sense.
I don't know. I'm guessing. I really do not know what it is.
I feel like Sonny just made up reverse pyramid scheme.
I think I did.
I think I just ripped up your whole bit.
Damn.
No, I didn't even know. Honest to God,
why you do that for?
I was referring to pyramid schemes, but I thought they were called reverse pyramid schemes.
I think if this podcast was a train, we're flying right now.
It's a thing. I don't know if it's a thing because I tried to look up reverse pyramid scheme and I see this girl with an upside down pyramid, but like the second top image is shirtless Danny DeVito. So I think it's just what's that show?
It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia.
I think that's what it is. I think that's the very second image. He's like on
maybe that's where you got it from.
It's Danny DeVito stuck in a jungle gym. Shirtless.
Yeah, that episode's hilarious.
All right, now I know. What the hell?
So Grandpa, you're our Danny DeVito.
Oh, I mean that's actually a compliment.
There's a show with Danny DeVito on it, and it's a bunch of young troublemakers. And then in season 2, they get Danny DeVito to come on, and he's like the kooky. How would you? He's
Danny DeVito, man.
Yeah, he's Danny DeVito.
What more do you need to say?
I know who he is.
Are you throwing shade, Grandpa? What's going on?
Am I what?
Throwing shade.
Throwing shade is like giving a nasty remark or telling the truth in a disrespectful manner, I believe.
It's condescending a little bit.
Being petty.
If I did, it wasn't intentional.
Oh.
Like we always throw shade at Brandon because he only has like 2 shirts.
Yeah. Oh yeah, the white A shirt and the black A shirt. Oh, but yeah, but Bart, did you ever get scammed back in the day?
Yes, I actually gave an example of it a little while ago. I've had numerous people sending out emails today, saying that they're a bank or a financial institution and they want information and so forth. But yes, when I was younger, I have been scammed once or twice in my life.
Yeah. Wow.
What would you do if that person came into the room right now, Grandpa, and they were like, "I'm the person that scammed you. What are you gonna do about it?"
Well, I would first of all, I'd ask them if they don't have the intellect to make a decent living.
Smoke.
That's throwing shade.
That's throwing shade. Yeah.
Grandpa, tell us. Oh yeah, go find us. Go.
Well, do you think that since we all have been scammed or been close to it, do you think this is a part of life? Like, do you think it's just like if I see someone else younger than me get scammed, I just go, huh, tough cookies, or do I try to keep them from being scammed? Do I think it's like a part of the learning?
Yeah, I think you're the kind of person that would try to help them to be aware and and keep from getting scammed in the future.
That is so true. That's
Yeah.
exactly the kind of person Finus is.
Yeah.
I don't know if that's shade or not.
No, it's very nice.
Thank you, I appreciate it. Yeah, I don't think I want people to be scammed, but at the same time, I don't know how much sympathy I'd feel for someone that got scammed, because I'm like, everyone gets scammed, like, oh man,
You know, the biggest scam I ever got was when I was in elementary school, we had firefighters come to our classroom, and someone was like, what if we call 911 and nothing's happening? Like, don't do that. And so when I went home, that was exactly what I did. Call. Yeah, then they were like, we're sending, and then I disconnected. I called them and they answered, and I got scared and I disconnected. And I was like, thank God that's over. And then they called me right back.
Dang.
And they're like, we've sent the whole patrol over to your house.
Oh no. What'd you say, Grandpa?
I don't know if you'd consider this a scam, but when I was a kid, I don't think they're around anymore. It was a company called Johnson Smith and Company. And they sold all this, I'd call it junk. So they had a fire eating kit, which I purchased, and it turned out to be a stick with hay wrapped around.
Let's delve into the what was the reason why you were like, hey, I'm ready to swallow fire.
Well, I just thought it would be cool to be able to be a fire.
Have you not seen Lilo and Stitch? Like, that was my dream for like a week.
Yeah.
Oh my god, that's really funny.
No, it is funny. It is funny.
Did you light it on fire? Like,
no, I realized that I had been scammed. I was probably 12 years old at the time.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
That's not bad.
That's not as bad. I don't know why. I don't know why I mentioned you being like 24.
Oh my god! Now that I think about it, I think I have gotten swindled again.
Whoa.
Before this year, there was one day I got home and I just like pulled up in front of my house and I was, I was like working on a weekend. I got home and I got out of my car, and this car pulled up across the street in front of my neighbor's house. I'm like, that's not your car. And right as I'm about to like go up my driveway, these two women come out of the car and they're like, "Hey." I'm like, "Hello. Hey, we're trying to get to our friend Dorothy's house. She's having a party here at her house, and we haven't been here in years, and we're just we can't remember where it is. And do you know where Dorothy? Do you know what Dorothy is around here?" And I'm like, I don't think so. And it's like two black ladies, so like they're going to another black lady's house, and I'm like, I don't think so. I was like, trying to think like who lives here and who lives there, and I was like, well, I'm not really sure, but I don't even like talking to my neighbors, as y'all know. So I was like, let me go ask my parents. And so I run in the house and I'm like, "Hey, Ma, do we know a Dorothy?" And my mom is like, "No, who's asking?" And I was like, and I'm like, "I don't know, there's just two ladies. I just needed to know really quick. If you don't know, it's fine. I don't care." And she's like, "All right." So I go back out, but for some reason, when I go back outside, these women have moved from their car across the street from my house to like halfway up my driveway. And I was like, whoa.
Wow.
So there's no Dorothy, just for the record. And they're like, And I was like, I mean, you can keep asking like a couple blocks over, but we don't know any Dorothy, so I can't help you. And they're like, "Okay, all right." And then one of them steps closer and she's like, "So, how are you today?"
Oh no.
And I was like, I'm good. How are y'all? And
what a weird question to ask out of nowhere.
She's like, You're really good. And I was like, "Yeah." And she's like, "All right, well, that's great. That's great to know. I'm glad that you're okay. But I just want you to know, if you're ever not okay, or if you ever feel like you're lost or away," and this woman pulls a pamphlet out of her handbag, and I was like, what in the ass. And I look at this thing. I didn't even read the pamphlet. I don't even think I kept it. I must have. I don't even think I kept it that within that hour. And I just took it and I just looked at her and I was like, there is no Dorothy, is there? And she's like, what? And I'm like, there's no Dorothy. You just wanted to come give me this thing. And they're both like, no, listen. Oh, sweetheart, no, listen, we would never lie to you. Listen, sweet, okay, all right, no, okay, listen. We are Jehovah's Witnesses. It is so against our code to lie, and they're giving me all this game.
No.
Oh.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, after I asked my mom, and she was like, no, we don't know any Dorothy. Who's asking? After I went back outside, she had called my dad in the house and was like, somebody's out here asking Sierra questions, I guess. I don't know. And so then all of a sudden, there was a whole bunch of stuff going on in the background. So then my dad came out and he was just like, hello, can I help you? And they're like, oh, we were just looking for our friend Dorothy, and we were just trying. He's like, we don't know any Dorothy. We can't help you. Like, and they're like,
was this a Saturday morning?
I think it was. And they're like, oh, well, sir, listen, there was a big mix up and she thought maybe we were trying to deceive her, and we would never do that because we are Jehovah's Witnesses. And he's like, that's cool. We don't need any of that. We're good. We're straight. And they're like, well, sir, do you have God in your life? And he's like, nope, and I'm straight. We're good. It's fine. We're doing very well. We don't need anything. We're okay. And they're like, and this one lady stuck the twig all the way up, and she was just like, are you okay raising your children without God in their life, sir? And he was like, yup, bye. And then he went back in the house. So I did get swindled really briefly. It was really scary. And, this is, again, why I don't go outside and why I don't talk to my neighbors, because Dorothy's out here trying to peddle us all out.
That's hilarious.
That's so funny. That sounds like something I would say, like your dad, what he said. Like, I remember one time, this isn't really a scam, but Finest and I went to this movie theater, and like, the gas company that everyone here has.
That's hilarious. Yeah, I can't
you know
even
what I'm
remember
talking? Con Edison, right? Yeah. They have like this booth at the theater, and the guy's like, hey, if you guys have Con Edison, and Finest goes over there, and I'm already kind of like, why are you entertaining these guys?
Because someone gave me eye contact.
And so we go over there, and this guy's like, hey, if you guys do this, it'll actually save you money, and it'll help out the environment. And then Finest is just being nice, and I'm like, all right, and I just don't have patience for it anymore. I'm like, all right, nah, dude, we're good. He's like, what? You don't like the environment? And I got so upset when he said that. I was just like, yeah. I was like, yeah, I don't like the environment. I hate the environment, as a matter of a fact. And he just didn't know how to respond.
Honestly.
I remember that. That was a great comeback. Yeah.
Yeah, one clue of this kind of a situation is when you're being high pressured by people.
Yeah,
when they're
honestly
pressuring you.
These women came all the way up into my driveway. They thought I lived alone. That's the problem. They really thought I don't know what they thought, but they thought all the way wrong, because
I don't think they were Jehovah's Witnesses. I think they were thieves. I think they were thieves posing as Jehovah's Witnesses.
It was weird. It was so creepy. I've had people like approach me to try to like get me to go to like churches and stuff, but not at my home. I was like, damn, I can't even. I'm just trying to go in. I'm on my territory. I'm in my zone. I'm not encroaching on you. I didn't walk past the building. I live here. Please stop.
Yeah. To end this off, Grandpa, remember the fight story you told me where you got swindled? Can you tell that story?
I'm not sure which story you're
you were in a fight. You were in a fight, and then something about hit you in the back of the head or something like that.
Yeah, but that's not really about being swindled. That was just somebody acted very inappropriately. I'll put it that way.
What happened?
Well, I only had one physical fight in my life, really.
Yeah.
And I don't know if I feel comfortable talking about this, but
okay.
I was in high school, and I was in a program that was mostly for people that were going to go. It was a technical program. We're not going to go to college at the time, and I got into a fight with a young man there, a actual physical fight, and I basically had him pinned down on the ground, and I just got up and I walked away. And when I was walking away, he was with a crowd of people. Someone hit me over the head as I was walking away. Now, I don't consider that the type of situation that we've been discussing. But
Hit
that's
you over the head with a good deal that you missed out on. Not joining.
Yeah, it was an unfortunate incident, and you know, I still.
Did they take anything from you? Did they
Pardon?
after they hit you in the back of the head? After they hit you, did they take anything from you?
No. I think that someone either put this fella up to it, or just to get even. I don't know what the situation was, but
To me, that's the ultimate swindling right there. Honestly,
Assault.
Assault. They hit you
no,
in
like hitting you when you're turned around.
Talking about coincidence, I was thinking about it last night. Now this happened 65 years ago. And I was thinking about it last night for whatever reason. I never think about it.
That's
so
crazy.
that's a coincidence right there.
Yeah.
It's called the illusion of reality, or the mind of the creator. But that's what it's about.
I one of my earliest memories is in a way like scamming somebody. When I was like 4 or 5 years old, I was in pre-kindergarten, and we each got a cookie at nap time, and so they go around and they give a cookie to each person, and I ate my cookie and I wanted another one. So there was a girl across from me who was like turned around and she didn't eat hers. So I like took it and I hid under the table and I was like chewing it really quickly. And she was like, "Where's my cookie?" And I was under the table like I don't know, like saying it with it in my mouth. And I started like almost crying. I was like, "I don't have a cookie in my mouth," and they're like, "Why are you under the table?" So I finished chewing. I came up from under the table, and I was like, "I never had a cookie," and they ended up believing me, and I think she might have gotten in trouble for lying, and I.
Hello, 911. Yes, his name is Brandon.
Yeah.
I'd like to report a lead on a cold case for theft.
And that was
karma's coming for you.
That was like one of my first memories. Like I did that, and then I was online. So
damn.
Wow. Brandon, you want a cookie for that?
Fiend.
Yeah.
You Carmen San Diego.
Now, have any of you guys ever felt like you've been conned or scammed by a potential someone of the opposite sex or whatever?
Every group project I've ever been in, all through college, most bit of high school.
You talking like a romantic partner or no?
It could be or not romantic, either way. But
I have a good one if you have the time to listen to it.
What the hell?
Sure.
All right, here's a good one. All right, so I started working at this restaurant in Indianapolis, and I met this girl there. So just, weird coincidence of how things work out. You meet someone, they're kind of in the background of your life, and then one night you kind of just hang out. We walked through the canal and everything. But she had a boyfriend, and we never, did anything to where we were cheating or anything like that, but there's an emotional level of cheating that you do, and that's kind of how this whole thing started. She ended up breaking up with him, and then we started dating, which is like a terrible, terrible, terrible thing. I wish I could go back in time and explain that to myself. But then on Valentine's Day, something felt off. I couldn't quite explain what it was, but something felt off. And I did what anyone does in a healthy relationship. I went through her phone. And whenever you get to the point where you're going through your significant other's phone, it's already that should be the sign. You shouldn't have to go through the phone. The fact that you're already going through it is the sign something is wrong.
Yeah.
And so I go through it. I find obviously stuff that I don't want to find. She's messaging with her ex-boyfriend and stuff. And then when I'm like, what's the meaning of this? And her response was, me and my ex-boyfriend got back together on Friday, but I didn't want to tell you until Monday because I knew how much Valentine's Day meant to you.
Yeah.
Amazing.
Isn't that hilarious?
That is iconic.
I don't think
She's
you
gonna
got
wait till
swindled.
the 3
She
business
gave
days.
you that doesn't sound like a swindling to me.
That is a classic like child of divorce type shit. She trying to get twice as many presents.
Nah.
She is. She's trying to get twice as many steak dinners.
Wow.
That is so true.
That's amazing.
Wow, and you know what? Going back to this is so funny. When I first came here, do I spend a lot of money on dates? Hell no, I don't, because I could have taken her out for a steak dinner and I didn't.
There you go. Brava.
Yeah.
That's
And,
skillful right there.
On that, we got Rosie out, and she's eating Grandpa's pen, and I think that's a good place to end our show for the day.
All right.
So.
Well, it's terrific working with you guys. It really is.
Yeah.
Keeps me on my toes.
Good stuff. Good stuff.
Yeah.
I hate to this split, but I'm about to go watch the playoff.
All right. Thank you, Finest. Thank you, our amazing producer, Sierra. Thank you, Sonny, and all our guests for coming on. And as always, love you, Grandpa.
And I love you, Brandon. and I'm very proud of you. Very proud.
Thank you.
Yeah.
That's why people start podcasts, isn't it?
Yeah.
So their grandpas can be proud of them.
And Finest and Sierra, I'm enjoying working with you guys. It's enjoyable to me.
I love it. I love it too. This is my human contact for the week. So I'm not going outside. I'm not.
Yeah.
All right.
Bye, Rosie.
Bye, Rosie.
Bye. Good night.
Oh, wait, let me show you. I'll show you my drawing that I did for not today, but I have to do today. It's an old bean, but I call it Cool Bean. He's like, you know why I'm cool? Why I'm a cool bean? It's because I pay your fucking tuition, son.
Please text that to me so I can put it on the Twitter.
Okay.
Oh my
So
gosh,
dope.
that's great.
So dope. You drew that when?
I drew it a couple days ago, but I was inking this one and I was inking some of these while I was sitting around.
Oh wow, that's delightful.
You've got a lot of talent. You're very talented. Yeah, for real.
Podcasting with Grandpa Bart and Rosie, always on his shoulder. This is Grandpa and Chill.
Grandpa and Chill is brought to you by your hosts, Brandon Fox, Bart Frank, and Finest Jackson. Our producer is Sierra Doss. You can find episodes old and new on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, and more. Subscribe to our YouTube channel to watch the show, and follow us on Twitter for behind-the-scenes moments you can't get anywhere else.